Hello, this is Andrew. Welcome to Collaborative Learning. Today's book is BS Jobs, A Theory by David Graeber. If you like my work, please like it, subscribe to this channel, check the playlists, and support me on Patreon and PayPal. The links to Patreon and PayPal are included in the description to this video. First, I'll describe the contents of the book, talk about what's interesting about it, then I'll move on to what you can get out of this book. David Graeber was an American anthropologist and anarchist activist. He wrote influential works on economic anthropology. These include his most famous work, The First 5,000 Years. He was a professor at Yale University and at the London School of Economics. In activism, Graeber was a leader of the Occupy Wall Street movement. Graeber's scholarship specialized in theories of value, social hierarchy, political power, and historical anthropology. He also developed critiques of bureaucracy and managerialism in contemporary capitalism. These were published in The Utopia of Rules and BS Jobs in 2018. He created the concept of BS Jobs in a 2013 essay that explored the proliferation of paid employment that was so pointless and so unnecessary that even the employee could not justify its existence. BS Jobs, A Theory is composed of 7 chapters that first define what a BS job is. Then it characterizes the different types of BS jobs in the U.S. economy. After that, it argues that the majority of people with BS jobs are unhappy and explores the politics of BS jobs and why there are more and more of them. To Graeber, BS jobs are growing in number. The arguments in the book are supported by a large quantity of personal correspondence and internet polling, along with many secondary sources. In Graeber's analysis, there are 5 general categories of BS jobs, and more than half of the employment in the United States is actually pointless or even harmful to society. There are also many jobs that have major portions that can be considered to be a waste of time. The first category are flunkies. These are jobs that are designed to make their bosses and companies look and feel important. These include receptionists, store attendants, store greeters, administrative assistants, and other jobs of this sort. In a way, they are similar to the group of servants that the very rich and very powerful throughout human history always had but didn't need. The second category are goons, who are people who are employed to harm or deceive others on behalf of their employer. These include telemarketers, public relations specialists, corporate lawyers, lobbyists, and other people engaged in dishonest propaganda, selling, and marketing. The third category are called duct tapers. These are jobs where people temporarily fix problems that could have been fixed permanently. These include people such as repairmen and computer programmers that repeatedly repair machinery and computer code that could have been replaced. Duct tapers exist because the organization has flawed processes, but nobody has bothered to permanently fix them. The fourth category are called box tickers. They are people who are engaged in creating the appearance that something useful is being done, when nothing of value is actually being done. These include corporate compliance and social responsibility officers. The fifth and final category are taskmasters who create extra work for those who do not need it. Make work. These include middle management and various types of academics, such as strategy and leadership in business schools. Graeber argues that BS jobs are typically concentrated in professional, managerial, clerical, sales, and in the service sector in general. They are created by extremely bloated bureaucracies in the United States, both in private and public sectors. This is often due to organizational problems and managerial corruption. He calls this tendency managerial feudalism. This feudalism creates employment positions that in reality could be either eliminated or not even appear at all in a more efficient economy. Graeber then analyzes the social harm that BS jobs cause. He concludes that BS jobs are psychologically destructive when paired with a work ethic that associates work with self-worth. They often cause employees to feel depressed and useless despite giving them a means to earn a living. The book ends with some suggestions on how to make things better for society. I have to say that I have some mixed views about this book, but on balance, I think it's a very important book for everyone to read. I think it's an extremely practical book for young people. Young people should read it as it exposes how incredibly messy and inefficient the real world of work is. The insights in this book should match a lot of people's experiences in life, in how at school and at work there's a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of time and energy is wasted on unnecessary tasks. Also, it drives home the importance that people must find careers and jobs where they can feel a sense of meaning, or at least as close to one as possible. If the job doesn't suit their personality, there is a high chance that they will pay for it with their long-term personal unhappiness in one form or another. The other factor is that BS Jobs reveals the nature of what is called by economists as the late-stage capitalism or a mature economy. As the economy gets older and older, you see a lot of corruption appear throughout the system. In the United States, we all have experience with these problems. There are a lot of government regulations that require a lot of compliance work. Corporations also have a lot of inefficiencies that cause them to hire people to do things that really don't make any sense. They create a lot of fancy job titles and job tasks that in reality don't need to exist. There are many large industries that have become extremely overdeveloped, like finance, insurance, real estate, healthcare, and college education. Overdeveloped industries tend to become rent-sinking and more corrupt. A lot of jobs have been created that were the result of manipulating the customer and the consumer into thinking that the price is right. This causes extremely high costs to be passed on to the consumer. For instance, we all need health care and a college education and have no other choice but to accept the high prices. It's a sad state of affairs. The author openly admits that BS Jobs is more of a starting point for a theory than an endpoint. This is an accurate statement, as is exactly what was accomplished here. The biggest problem with the book is, though, it isn't scientific enough in its statistical analysis. And the large number of samples gathered by the author was done through selection bias. So we have a lot of interesting personal accounts and data that support Graeber's arguments, but not the flaws in them. There is a lack of rigorous and scientific research. Besides these issues, there are other flaws in some of Graeber's arguments, categories, and classifications. But ultimately, I think readers should not nitpick too much. Graeber is an anarchist like Noam Chomsky and has far-left views. This naturally colors the analysis in the book, but the positives of the book outweigh any political disagreements. This book is really a starting point for the subject. I have never heard of any other book analyzing BS Jobs in the U.S. economy, and I doubt that such a task could be officially done by a tenured academic. Graeber's work is especially important for this reason. In the end, I believe that there's some connection with the analysis of BS Jobs and the overdeveloped economy compared to the simple economy. Finance, healthcare, college education, and many other industries used to be a lot cheaper due to being a lot more simple. I think of the simple world of the ages past. From a Stoic, Taoist, and Buddhist perspective, I can see that a lot of things in life are really not necessary at all. It's just that human beings overcomplicate things to make money and trick people into believing that these super high prices are worth every penny. Marketers trick people into believing that they need to consume things that in the end don't really mean much at all to them. And this cycle is self-perpetuating and keeps capitalism and the economy moving. The cycle never ends. Basically, what we were taught in school about free market efficiency and efficient capital markets was too naive and too simple for the real world. Both private and public sectors have a lot of bureaucracy and economic corruption. This book exposes them with great detail. To conclude, I highly recommend this book. You don't need to agree with all of his points, but this hugely important yet rarely studied topics makes BS Jobs a rare gem. I think everyone can benefit in one way or another by reading this book and learning a bit about how to analyze the workplace more like an anthropologist. Anthropologists deconstruct a group's beliefs, social systems, and values in order to understand their meaning. After reading this book, I think you will get more insight about your working lives and the working world around you. I think it generates ideas on how we can flourish better in life and do things differently. I rate BS Jobs a 4 out of 5 stars. So that's what I think about BS Jobs, a Theory by David Graeber. Please put your thoughts and ideas in the comments section. They always make a great conversation. I hope you find my review to be informative. Thanks for watching.